In the vast expanse of space, we see a man fighting, growing stronger and stronger. His level of power is shocking compared to the level of power of other characters I've scaled, and so for now I've decided I won't be scaling Jin-Woo from the novel. Instead, I'll be scaling a much weaker version of Sung Jinwoo. So to start with, let me name all his powers and abilities. Superhuman physical characteristics and regeneration mid-low. Hunters at B level or above can heal a severed tendon within minutes. He has basic skills in hand-to-hand martial arts and weapon mastery, greatly enhanced martial arts and weapon mastery. He's acrobatic. Sung is able to do flips to avoid taking damage. Information analysis. He could understand how the dungeon and his trials work, allowing the hunters who couldn't do it to survive. Extrasensory perception and analytical prediction. Due to being constantly in life and death situations, he's able to sense danger and therefore he can see in advance. And for extrasensory perception, enhanced hearing. He could hear monsters coming his way, identify what type of monsters and the direction they are coming from based on the sound, and he can see auras and colored names above an opponent, indicating the level of power to his own. He was able to fully predict the monsters and where they come from by the pattern in which they attacked, and he could feel the presence of a boss and can see the aura of a boss to follow the correct path. He has 2 layers. Some can sense stats and should be superior than his magic, which can sense the skill stealth, which hides scent, body, aura, and sound. He could see the Frost Monarch's movements, where he was looking, the rate of breathing, muscle movement, and the flow of his power. He has enhanced senses. He can see through the eyes of his shadow soldiers. He can hear everyone in New York City from the top of a skyscraper. He has magic, sleep, and disease manipulation, which are passive. Magical beings such as hunters can give people perceptual sleep syndrome by passively emanating magical energy for a prolonged period of time. He has an aura and limited power nullification. Hunters are capable of nullifying the powers of people. He can naturally negate people's abilities to sense his presence, and he can use tusk to block communication between beings with telepathy who are weaker than them. Bloodlust. Uses strong energy to put foes into a state of fear for 1 minute, which reduces their stats by 50%. This skill can be used on multiple targets. He made Kang Tashik feel like he was getting swallowed by Sung Jinwoo's shadow. Be right back. Stop it. This is being annoying. Ignore the dogs. No, back away. Enhanced aura and energy manipulation. The magic hunters can release magical energy. Supernatural willpower. He stayed conscious after getting impaled in the chest by a giant spear and having a part of his shoulder deeply sliced, and managed to stay alive from starvation. He was able to strangle Blue Poison Fang Kasaka while he was being constantly slammed against the walls and felt his strength slipping, and was able to run for 4 hours non-stop. Weapon mastery. Skilled swordsman and a master in the use of daggers. Damage reduction. Can reduce 20% damage with Kasaka's venom, and with armor, his physical damage is reduced by 61%. With perseverance, when he is below 30% HP, he will get 50% damage reduction. In the final arc, any physical damage he takes is reduced by 65%. Damage boost. With advanced dagger arts, he increased the amount of damage his daggers deal, and he has vital strike that deals critical damage on vital parts of an opponent. Instinctive action. He's able to attack on instinct against invisible opponents. Statistic amplification. Sprint increases 30% of his speed. Wolf Slayer. His stats will increase by 40% when fighting beast-type monsters. Triumphant over adversity. Stats increase proportionally to missing health, resulting in a 1% stat increase for every 1% HP missing. Stealth mastery and invisibility. He can use his stealth, which erases his body's scent and sound and aura. Telekinesis and pseudo flight. He can use Dominator's Touch, which allows him to control objects without touching them. He can also crush people with it, and can use it to get out of the way out of attacks mid-air. Weapon creation. He can create his weapons directly in his hand, and can deconstruct them if an enemy takes them. Preparations. He can use items and equipment from the store to prepare himself for dungeons, like for example buying HP and mana potions. Automatic translation. He can understand and speak monster language without any prior knowledge. Necromancy. He can bring the souls of the dead back to life as shadow soldiers with shadow extraction. He can use Save Shadow to absorb his shadow soldiers and summon them at a later time. Statistic simplification. He can use the domain of a monarch to cover an area with his shadows, increasing his shadow soldier stats by 50%. He can also store his shadow soldiers in other people's shadows. Animal manipulation and vehicular mastery. He can control his shadow wyverns and ride it to wherever he wants. Teleportation and portal creation. He can use Shadow Exchange to change locations with one of his shadow soldiers. It opens a portal in an area around him. After image creation. He was able to move fast enough to leave an after image while fighting Beru. Dimensional storage. He can store items in a bottomless inventory and can suppress them at any time. Stamina manipulation. By doing his daily quest, he can recover his stamina. He usually saves this when he's in battle to surprise his opponents. Power observation. He can take the skills of an opponent that he kills during his quest, kill the enemies, which is an emergency quest he'll get against someone with too much bloodlust towards him. Accelerated development. Leveling and other physical attribute skills and others gets stronger the more he levels up by killing monsters. He gets more experience points by using titles and distributes his experience points into his stats, which also involves his senses. Weather manipulation and electricity manipulation. He can use the Demon King's longsword, which summons a small lightning storm. Rage power and berserk mode. Self-explanatory, both their power increases, but unknown by how much. Limited law manipulation. He was able to devour the system which controls the laws around him and the instant dungeon. Possession. Monarchs are capable of possessing humans to manifest themselves. Cosmic awareness. Higher beings can detect when the flow of time has been changed. Limited existence eraser. Monarchs are able to erase shadow soldiers with their attacks, and as a monarch he should be able to do the same. Memory manipulation. He can share his memory with other people. Portal creation, dimensional travel, and BFR. Sung can create portals to other dimensions. Mind manipulation. He was able to keep conscience even after receiving the Black Heart. Now time for some feats where it becomes really hard to pixel scale anything. There's barely any actual feats, and the few feats that are there aren't worth mentioning. So to start with, he should scale higher than the Shadow who performed this feat, the Orc Shadow. Based on the distance and the pulverization, it gets the Orc Shadow feat to 147,415 tons of TNT or large town level. It could be vaporization, but the art doesn't show it well enough for me to feel it's justifiable. But if you see vaporization, it gets the Shadow Orc feat to 17.70 megatons or city level. This is the best feat the series has to offer. We know Jin-Woo should have grown much stronger from chapter 80 to 200, but there isn't enough to prove it. There aren't any multipliers I can use either, so my only option is to use the Monarchs, who should probably scale to city level based on the level of destruction they can cause over a short period of time, and maybe by the end of the series Jin-Woo scales to large city level at max, because he defeated the Dragon King, but in the fight neither of them showed any feats of that level. Durability. Jin-Woo probably scales to large city level at max because of everything I've said before. Time for some speed. They're all kind of underwhelming until he dodges light. This speed is really hard to pixel scale because it's hard to gauge the distance and stuff, but it's probably a relativistic level feat, up to max at the speed of light. With a sprint, he gains a 30% buff, so if he's actually dodging at the speed of light, that gets him to 1.3 times faster than the speed of light. It's possible he could be moving fast, but there isn't any other feats I remember that I could stack onto him. Anyways, with that out of the way, Shadows scale below him and they have their own skills, but if I talked about all of them we would be here for much longer and they barely matter. But I'll talk about them when I do in a versus battle video that features Jin-Woo. So to conclude, Jin-Woo is much weaker than it seems in the series, but it doesn't mean he's actually that weak. It's just that his verse for now doesn't really scale to that level you always hear he's at. He's a large city power guy who moves faster than the speed of light and has shadows who do their own thing. At the same time, Jin-Woo is a serious threat. With that out of the way, give this video a like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you guys next time.